This is Chala Dinkoy from CoachTactics.com, right here in Toronto, wishing I could be there with you. And I'm so sorry to have missed the Income 180 live event, but because I'm not there to talk your ear off in person, I'd love to share some juicy stuff about my mentors, Chris and Nancy. And when I say juicy, I'm not talking about Chris's love of those funky shirts and Nancy's really high heels. I don't know if she's wearing any today, but I guarantee she is. When I met Chris and Nancy, Chris was sitting at a women's networking event next to me at a table, and I asked him how he got in because I really didn't even think men were allowed. So he said he was with his partner, Nancy, and pointed to her, and we got to talking. And it was exactly a year ago today. And I'm a coach, I'm a marketing coach, so I left my very secure six-figure job, and I had no clients when I left 2.5 years ago. And when I met Chris and Nancy, I had been able to sell so many packages of my very low-priced coaching packages that I was working literally 24/7. I had something like 16 clients hour after hour after hour, every week, every day. I had to ask for permission to go to the washroom, even though I was sitting right here in my home office. And I was exhausted and overwhelmed, and I knew I was asking the universe for a way to be able to scale it. And I didn't know, I couldn't train other people to be like me, and I didn't know what else to do. So lo and behold, a guy shows up at a women's network and sits right next to me, and I totally believe that we are sent people by the universe, and when we ask for them, and so be smart enough not to say no to them when they show up in your life. So they showed me a way to change my entire business in a way that tripled my sales. And literally, I made 3 times the amount of money that I made in the year before because of our work together. And they taught me how to have the inner conversation and the outer conversation to be able to support those new structures and prices and new business model that I made for myself. What I'm doing differently is hiring the right people who are not so far ahead of me that I'm just a number to them, but they spend the time and care enough and know enough to pull me as they rise. So I loved working with them, and I'm still working with them because we are now going to double last year, if you can believe it, and we're working towards some strategies to do that. And I will never be, as Chris always says, I will never be without a mentor. And for this point in my life, they have been the mentors that have catapulted my results. So I was able to get all of my investment back into the coaching program within a month and a half. And if Chris had said, Chala, run naked down the street, as part of your business plan, I would have done it. So that's my advice to everybody listening here. Pick the right people and then do exactly what they're saying, and forget about your fears, forget about your excuses, because you're paying really good money for all this advice. So you guys are in for a treat this weekend, or throughout these couple of days, and I wish I could be with you. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce Chris and Nancy.